How's it going, everybody? So today we're talking prison politics, the prison yard, snitches, paperwork. We're talking everything prison in this video. Let's get into this. So let me start by saying I've never been in custody in a prison or a jail outside of California, okay? But I do know California, Oregon, Washington, pretty much the only states that have racial segregated politics. Whereas states like Kentucky, West Virginia, they don't have a lot of that, which is why, rape and extortion happen so often in those other states. Rape and extortion, non-existent California mainline. Never happens. Not even at all. So if you're white, okay, and you don't have a sick charge on you, you're not a weirdo, you're going, GP mainline, you will be in a prison gang. There's no way around that, okay? Now, I've seen a lot of guys, when they get told that, they're like, oh, I do whatever I want. I talk to whoever I want, and, and I know karate, and you ain't going to be doing none of that, okay? I don't care how many karate moves you think you know, okay? Because when they put 4 or 5 guys on you, you're going to be sorry you did that. You don't do that, okay? You're in a prison gang. Here's how it goes, okay? On this side of the day room, you got the whites, the Southsiders, and the Paisas. A Southsider is a Mexican from America, southern California. A Paisa is a Mexican national from Mexico, okay? On this side of the day room, you got the blacks, the Norteños, and the others, right? A Norteño is a northern Mexican, right? And another is like Native American, Chinese, Japanese, all things like that, right? If you're white or if you're a Southsider, you don't do anything with people on that side of the day room. You don't do anything to them. You could say hi, if you know one of them from the street when you're walking by, but you're not going to eat with them. You're not going to work out with them. Not going to play ball with them. Not going to play cards with them. You ain't doing none of that. Okay. So is it racist? Is this based in racism? Well, it is racist to look at things racially, right? But is it because you hate those other races or because you think you're better than them? Well, for most people, no, that's not the case. For most people, it's that you're just sticking with people that you share like-minded things with. And this is how you stay protected and safe in prison, right? You don't have to worry about, 5 black guys trying to rape you and extort you when you have the entire wood piles behind you. You don't got to worry about that. Now, here's the thing, right? If the Southsiders, when a riot happens, it's usually between the blacks and the Southsiders. They like to get it off all the time. If the Southsiders are getting it off, you best believe the whites are going to jump for them, okay? And if your people are jumping and you think you're going to go sit on your rack while that's happening, that'll get you stabbed. You don't do that, okay? If you happen to know, Jerome from the street, you guys grew up on the same block or whatever, you could, kind of go make it look like you guys are trying to fight each other. I don't know anything about that, but, let's talk about yard, okay? What goes down at yard? Banging goes down at yard. If you're going to yard, you're bringing something you shouldn't be bringing. Simple as that. You're bringing a bone crusher with you to yard, okay? You'll know if a riot is going to happen at yard, okay? Let's just say, it's kind of hot weather out and everyone's wearing their jacket. They're wearing it for a reason because, it's going to be harder to stab them if they have their jackets on. So, just little things like that you got to pay attention to, okay? If you notice everyone has their jacket on, it's probably going to go down, okay? And it usually goes down the last 10 minutes before yard is up, okay? At yard, people walk in a clockwise circle, right, around the yard, okay? If you go against the flow of traffic, the gunner is going to be on you. They're going to say, hey, stop walking against traffic, and if you keep going, they're going to shoot you. You're going to get killed. You don't do that, okay? Let's talk about dope in prison, right? How does dope work, okay? If you have a dope problem and you come into prison, you don't want to have a dope problem in prison. You don't, okay? You need to leave that behind you at the gate, which is something I always did, okay? Because if you are a dope fiend in prison, okay, you're a liability to your people. You're not an asset. They want the assets around for the riots. Liabilities like that, you're going to be called to go handle the dirty work. If someone needs booking, they're going to ask you to do it. And you can't say no, or else you're going to get booked. This is why most people serving life sentences in prison got their life sentences while they're in prison. Okay, because they, because they came in with a dope problem. They said, hey, you know what? You got to stab that guy. We found out that he has charges against kids. You got to stab him. And then you got yourself a life sentence. You were there for a DUI. Now you're there for life. Don't come in with a dope problem. Don't do it. Okay. And here's the thing, right? It's always the loud mouths, the guys that are all tatted up, that are, talking degrading things about women, things like that. They're always the ones on the phone. They're in their 40s and 30s. They're on the phone with their mom saying, hey, mom, can you send me, $200 or they're going to kill me? It's pathetic. You're a grown man asking your mother for money so you could buy dope. That's so stupid, right? It's hard to respect somebody that's doing something like that, and that's why you're going to get called on to do the dirty work and why you're a liability if you have dope problems, right? Snitching, right? Snitches. Let's talk about this, right? It has to be talked about just so we, a snitch, we all kind of know, is somebody who testified in a courtroom. It's usually a co-defendant against their co-defendant, right? The DA, when two people are involved in a crime, the DA is always going to come at one of them with a way out, okay? If you fall for that, if you, speak against your co-defendant, that is a character flaw. You are sinning when you do that because you are just as responsible for being involved in the crime, okay? Let's just say it's a horrible thing like this, right? Let's say you and your buddy are going to rob a house, right? And you don't think anyone's there, and your buddy ends up killing somebody in another room while you're in another room. You're going to be charged with that murder too, okay? And you are just as guilty of that murder, okay? You shouldn't have been there to begin with. That's what you get. If you're going to rat on your buddy and say, well, I was outside in the car the whole time. No, you don't do that. Let's talk about dry snitching. What is dry snitching? This is actually pretty funny, okay? Because it happens almost every day. People that do it don't even realize they're doing it. And people get checked for this every day, okay? Let's just say, this is your first time in jail, right? And you have a friend, and your friend is named, let's just say his name is Johnny Biscuit, right? And the guard comes in and says, hey, where's Johnny Biscuit at? And you're thinking your friend has mail, or they got a package, or they're going to medical. And you go, well, Officer Johnny Biscuit, he's right over there. That's dry snitching, okay? If your buddy was doing something that he shouldn't have been doing, you just put the cop on him. You snitched. You don't do that. You don't even look in his direction when the cop asks where he's at. You don't do that. Just so many people say, when I go to jail, I'm going to keep to myself and mind my own business, and yet they have a real hard time doing that. Not too long ago, I was riding in the car with this girl, and in front of us is a car with a South Carolina license plate, right? And they had one of those football team license plate borders that kind of covered up the state, and she was like, oh, can you believe that? Oh, this guy isn't doing anything to her, right? Not doing nothing to her, right? She gets out her phone because she wants to call the cops on this guy. I said, the hell is wrong with you? Put your phone down, shut your mouth. And then she insisted on flagging the guy down, saying, that's illegal. You can't be doing that. She's obviously really stupid, and she, could possibly get herself killed for doing something like that. Let's talk paperwork. I don't know if we talked paperwork yet. I don't think we did. Paperwork, that's your driver's license. That is what lets people know that you're good, okay? Wherever you go, you have your paperwork on you. If you're being transferred from one prison to another, you hoop your paperwork. You keep it hooped, okay? If you show up somewhere without your paperwork, you just look like an idiot, okay? You look like someone who has no idea what you're doing. Like you take no responsibility for yourself or anything, okay? Charges. Let's talk about charges, okay? Blacks are kind of okay with their people having charges against women, such as pimping and stuff like that. But white people don't do that, okay? If you have a charge against a woman or anything like that, or pimping, okay, you're going to get killed for that. You don't have those charges. You don't have charges against kids, Nothing like that, okay? If you do, you're going to get killed. Simple as that, okay? And sometimes, and this does happen because I've seen it happen, the cops will put somebody on the mainline yard with those charges just so that person will get killed. I'll never forget this, right? So I'm checking paperwork, okay? And a guy comes in, and I have to check his paperwork, and I never thought in a million years I'd see this, but it said, great bodily injury on an infant. I take the paperwork to the shot caller, and I know this guy is, if he doesn't get killed, he's gonna, be scarred for life, right? And the thing is, nobody wanted to handle this because we had a bunch of dope at the time, right? No one wanted to handle it, but we had to. So there was these 4 kids. They were like 18 to 20 young kids that were housed with us. The shot caller put them on him, right? And they were all dope fiends, by the way. And they all got time for this, by the way. Dude, they beat this guy. I've never seen someone be beat up so bad for like 6 hours. For like almost a half a day. This guy, they'd knock him out, put him on his rack. Every time he'd wake up, they'd knock him out again. This dude's face was lacerated. It was one of the nastiest things that I've ever seen, right? How about this, right? I heard a story. This one time, this guy, right, he, one of his charges was child endangerment because somebody was trying to rob him when he was with his kids. So he blasted the guy, defending himself and his kids, right? And the cops gave him child endangerment charges. Well, when he landed, he explained why he had that charge. Anyways, when the shot callers got changed, the new one didn't like it and had him smashed out, which I thought was wrong, but whatever, Some people don't want to take any chances, The shot caller is making that call because he doesn't want to have something like that going on his yard, and then he's responsible if it was something other than that, right? If I was in that position, would I make that call? I probably wouldn't, just because I know it's not right to do. But if I had no spiritual beliefs in anything, then I probably would, okay? Just for my own safety. But I'm a believer in doing what's right regardless of what could happen to me, right? Like I said before, if you are white, or if you're white and you're going to prison, you're going to be in a prison gang. Simple as that. You're not going against it. Or you could go to PC and get raped. You can do that if you want, okay? But I'd much rather, this is why rape doesn't happen in California mainline. It's virtually probably the only place where it doesn't happen. But I will say California mainline prison is the most militant place on the planet, okay? It is the hardest place on the planet. People don't care, okay? People don't care about anyone but themselves. Like I said, they'll be on the phone with their mom, asking them for money for dope. Which is pathetic, dude. I've never, ever once have I paid money for dope when I was in jail. Okay? I always had that coming. Because the way I conducted myself, people respected me. So they wanted to give me dope. That's how you need to be. If you are going to respect yourself anywhere, respect yourself in there, because how you take care of yourself is going to influence how everyone else sees you, okay? You get up in the morning, you don't sleep in, you make your bed, you work out, you keep your stuff clean and neat, okay? You don't just sit around. I know guys that'll do 10 years and they'll come out being 150 pounds overweight and have National Geographic titties because all they did was sit around and eat cupcakes all day. You don't do that, okay? It doesn't look like you did 10 years. It looks like 10 years did you. You don't do that. Anyways, you know what? This video is for people that if you're looking at a prison term, right, and you're in California, if you're in a state other than California, you might want to, I don't know, I don't know what to do. If I was going to go to a prison where there was no racial politics, I wouldn't know what to do. I would try to find, as many people as I could that were like-minded like me and try to click up with somebody, If you're going to run completely solo in another prison outside of California, dude, you're setting yourself up to have some horrible things happen to you. I wouldn't want that, Um, here's the thing, right? This is actually pretty interesting, right? Um, there's always these skinheads in California prisons, right? Oh, I hate all black people. They're all a bunch of N-words to me. And they'll be in their cell listening to Lil Wayne, and then they'll say, I do kind of like Jerome. Jerome's kind of cool. Well, do you know how math works? Here you are saying you hate all black people, but you like Jerome. If you like one, there's probably at least a million others that you like. Are you that ignorant? Uh, Most of the racist stuff going on in prison is based in pride. Okay? When people say black pride or brown pride, they don't think that's racist. When you say you're proud of being white, you're not saying I hate black people. You're saying that you're proud of your cultural heritage. You're proud that you are part of the race that invented the world that it is today. Okay? It doesn't mean that you hate anyone else. Okay, here's something I have seen, right? I have seen some Native Americans come in, and I think some Asian people have done this too, come in and run white. I don't think that would actually fly in prison. I only saw this in county jail. Some Native Americans were running white, but and the reason why they did that is because they're more like-minded with white people than they are with blacks and Norteños, right? It's very interesting that, the blacks on the street, because one likes red, one likes blue, Bloods and Crips, they'll be killing each other all day. But as soon as they come into jail, they click up. It's very weird, right? Here's another thing, right? If you're checking your people, you don't check your people in front of another race. If one of your boys needs 23 seconds, because that's what we give our people when they dry snitch or do something stupid, you basically put two guys on them and you beat the shit out of him for however long, right? 23 seconds. You don't do that in front of another race, okay? If you're fighting somebody in your own race, you don't do it. And in a lot of level 4s, there's a hands-off policy, okay? Hands-off policy means that if you can't let it go, then you just get a knife and you kill him. Simple as that, okay? But we're not going to have people swinging fists around and doing stuff like that, okay? Which I think is a good policy because it teaches you to let things go. If someone calls you like a bitch, a lame, or a punk, you need to do something about that. How that would go down on a level 4, I'm not actually sure because I've never been on a level 4, but yeah. Anyways, if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you guys next time. Bye.